This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us. Check out IWC, RWA, and more. And listeners like you, support this show at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show.
Hungry as fuck, but I ain't starving yet. Paying for the pain, cocktail bar set. Never said I was a gangster or thug, but I'm an animal. Feeding for the taste of the fly.
Hey guys, it's the Indy Mayhem Show. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA, and we got another return guest. Everybody's coming back. Everybody's visiting us, updating us on their travels, and today is no different. This is, I don't know, the third or fourth time we've had this guy on. He keeps coming back. And at least we've upgraded the dig since he was here last. But in the meantime, please go check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. You can find this and other podcasts. And also check out all the wrestling, including our guest today, over at IndyWrestling.us. Hell, even some high marks of this gentleman's career, I believe, if I remember, from a couple of promotions. But anyways, with us today he is the Pretty Boy Killer.
Like the Ohio State, we won't talk about what happened with Purdue. We're just going to skip past that. But the Pretty Boy Killer.
Shane Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Talking sports ball with me, already throwing me off on this podcast.
That's what I do, man. I got to keep you on your toes.
Well, you know, my role is I don't watch sports that don't admit that they're fixed.
I mean, yeah, because they couldn't survive the way pro
exactly.
wrestling does.
Exactly. I mean, there's a reason, and that's why it's pro wrestling. That's why wrestling is forever, as they say on the T-shirt.
Absolutely.
So, well, you know, I kind of joked about this, but I think I am going to start this the way I did with Facade. So what's been up with you since we've talked last?
Man, it's been
about a year and a half, man. You've been doing a lot. You've been all over Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. I think lost even more weight since I've seen you last.
Yeah, man. It's been a constant grind. You know, always just trying to be the very best. Like I tell people, I've never been a JV guy. I've always been a starter. I've always been the main guy. I've always been a guy that could lead my teams, and that's the pressure that I put on myself. Yeah, man, it's been a crazy year and a half. Got married this past March.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I have a second daughter on the way now. That's good news. So all of the old first kid feelings are starting to flood back, and I just got to remind myself, like, look, you were fine. The first kid's still alive. She's healthy. You know, maybe you do all right.
We passed the first test.
You know, first hurdle was cleared. We're good. So now it's just, you know, continuing to do the things that I do, settling into my expanding roles in ROH and overseas, and really excited about the UK tour that I have. It's going to be really, really fun to be out there.
That's awesome. You're becoming a bit of a staple there in Ring of Honor. We talked a little bit. You're trying to kind of establish kind of a different role for Ring of Honor, because I mean, you know, when I remember when guys like Ray Rowe and Hanson and you coming in, and Keith Lee was there for a minute too. It was really different than the smaller, flippy guy stuff, you know, or work rate, match, that they would have, like, thinking AJ Styles and Bryan Danielson back in the day. Like, you were definitely not, for better or worse, Bryan Danielson.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Worse for your opponents, probably.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, all the technical wrestling in the world is great. All of the high-flying acrobatics are great. My approach to wrestling is very similar to that of a high school fight. You know, all of the pushing and shoving is great. All of the trash talk is great. But you got the reactions that you got when someone got hit in the mouth. And oh my goodness. Like, that's what I live on. I live off of that raw fight energy. Big fights, big hits, physicality. That's what I like. That's what I think people are drawn to. That's why they love to see what we do, is the physicality of what we do. Some guys make it an art form. They make their careers off of it. And some guys do a million other things, you know, to branch off of that tree. But in my opinion, when I get down to it, it's two guys standing there throwing hands to see who the man is. And that's what I'm all about.
And it sounds like you have a lot of opportunity, because now we're having this talking this way. Like, I'm thinking back to the history of Ring of Honor, and there's always been like maybe one big guy, right? One bruiser, maybe one moose, one somebody like that. Now it's like it is a collection. It was for a while. It was the War Machine was there with you. You got the Real Man and
Silas Young, yeah.
and the Bruiser, the Beer City Bruiser, and everything like that. So it is, I wouldn't call it the land of the giants that WWE is necessarily, but like there's a lot of beef up there.
Absolutely, and there's a great mix in wrestling. Some people like to call it a variety show. We want to have something for everybody. Everybody, Ring of Honor has based its history and its legacy off being the best wrestling company in the world. And when you look at the history of that and the guys that have come through there, you can't argue with that. So now to have the ability to have more entertaining acts than people that just want to see, wrestling in its purest form. You can have your comedy acts, you have your entertaining acts, you have your fighters, you have your brawlers, you have your technical guys, you have your smaller guys, and now you have your bigger guys too. That people can go out there, see us go toe to toe, but also we go to the top rope. We do some flips too. So to make people's jaws drop and give them one hell of a show, that's what we're all about.
That's awesome. You mentioned UK and everything like that. I believe is this your first international tour?
This will be my second time going over to the UK. The first time I was on the Honor United tour. Had some matches with Scorpio Sky. I believe we were in Edinburgh, Scotland, and then had matches with Yano in London in a tag team match with Bully Ray and Punishment Martinez. When we were also in England, but I can't remember the name of the town. I'm sure someone's gonna be like, it was such and such. I'm sorry. Yeah. But so
okay, go over the cage match and check it out, right? You'll see what that was.
Absolutely. So then this will be my second tour. I get to debut for a lot of great companies, Fourth Generation, IPW, UK Southside, Rev Pro, and a couple others, and it's going to be really, really fun. A lot of heads to turn, a lot of things to prove, and I'm excited, really excited, motivated.
That's always been a big thing that impresses me with Ring of Honor. Like you guys, of course, are doing the big shows and big matches with their Ring of Honor, but you are going like still around, popping up. We'll talk in a moment about what you've been doing here locally, including last night as of this recording. But you're still out there mixing it up with other up and comers along the way. So
Absolutely.
like it's how is that like being like kind of on the big stage of Ring of Honor, but still, I don't know if I want to call it still an indie grind kind of thing. Yeah, how would you address that?
There's a mentality that I have that I wish other people did, and like for a lot of like when people make it right, a lot of people just assume they did it by themselves, which is a lie. You don't. Everybody that's ever given you an opportunity is a part of that journey. Now, everybody aren't the ones that essentially helped you get there, but they provided you platforms to be able to learn and grow. So when I was a few years in, like I wanted the chance to prove myself against the guys that they were bringing in that were better than me to improve. A lot of times I didn't get those chances. They always went to somebody else. They always went to the Golden Boys of the promotion. They always went to those guys. And so for me, that built up a lot of anger in me. I'm like, well, how do I get better if only the same guys are getting the same opportunities over and over and over again? So now, fast forward, essentially being the other guy now in that equation, I get to go and work with and perform and help those guys that I think, okay, he's like me, like with that mentality, like he wants to prove himself. Cool. Anybody could come in and wrestle that guy. I want to wrestle him. I want to wrestle him and see what he's got. Like if I can help him, great. If he teaches me something, great. Like, but somehow let's make it happen where everybody is successful.
So you're kind of looking at a roster and trying to find those kind of diamonds in the rough.
Absolutely.
Out there. Yeah,
absolutely. Because those are the guys that fall to the cracks. Those are the guys that aren't getting the headlines. And those guys deserve just as much of an opportunity to be successful as the flavors of the month now. You know what I'm saying? Not that they don't deserve to be there, but when you look at indie wrestling especially, if you really pay close attention, the same 10, 15, maybe 20 guys are just wrestling each other all across the world.
Famously, back in the day, because they say it happened here, it was Colt Cabana and CM Punk were just traveling together.
Everywhere. And so it's like, and it's super hard to break through that circle if you don't get those opportunities. So now it's like, okay, well, let's start finding other ways to get other people opportunities, and we'll see what happens.
Well, let's talk about that. You've been doing a little bit of I've been calling it personally a homecoming tour for you, because you've been back in IWC, and you've been back in IWC since being up there. And wait, were you in Ring of Honor for that Reloaded show with Wardlow yet? I'm not sure if you were signed. Now I think about it,
maybe not.
So you were just coming around, because I think you were just signed when we had you on last time. But you were making an appearance. You're getting around. You're getting to Texas. But this has been since making such a big splash on Ring of Honor television. You've done IWC here a couple months in the recent mid-year here, and now just last night with the Renegade Wrestling Alliance as well. What's it like to kind of come back to the old territory and kind of revisit that?
Oh, man, it was awesome. Like, coming through and getting the reception from the crowd that I got was incredible. I rarely get goosebumps, but that was something that instantly, it was just chills and memories and flashbacks and just so much raw energy. It was awesome. It feels really good now to be the guy, again, like I said, on the other side of the equation, to go, okay, by doing what I do, I can somehow help somebody else, improve upon something or get better or elevate someone or elevate a company around these actions. So I take a lot of pride in that. So for me, that's the best feeling in the world.
Just coming off last night, of course, you were back at Renegade Wrestling Alliance, which I kind of point to as the place that kind of you became Shane Taylor back in the day. Absolutely.
Like, that was one of the first places that essentially took the cuffs off of me and just said, go do what you want to do. And it worked, because that's the kind of leeway that I need. Like, I'm not I don't do well in a cubicle. I don't do well in a box. Just let me do what I do and move out of the way is sort of how I operate. And the places that have allowed me to do that reap the benefits of that. The places that don't, they'll make up any excuse. Well, he wasn't successful here. It's like, well, yeah, because I don't operate well in that framework. Just like you have system quarterbacks in sports. Like, you take somebody out of a system they were successful in, you put them in a different type of system where they don't get the same chances to be successful. That's going to happen. So yeah, like, to be there and let them have them have the confidence in me to say, okay, we believe in you, just go do your thing, is fantastic. And loyalty to me is everything, so they're always going to have my loyalty for being one of the first few places to let me do that.
Absolutely. And of course, IWC, another place that you've been as well through your career, including, I think I remember a really good match with a young kid named Logan Shulo that seems to be playing guitar on Monday nights now.
Yeah, man. I think I was his last match before he left.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah. And so yeah, another really fun one, rematch that I'm looking forward to at some point in our careers. So we'll see what happens there.
I bet you got some ideas of what to do with that guitar.
Oh man. None that I'm going to share on the show, because I don't want potential sponsors to go, oh no, click. You know what I mean?
Take that, Gibson. You returned to IWC, and you seem to have had a match with everybody representing Canada, including Jackson Argos is in the chat room and saying, with all due respect, I want to punch you in the face again.
Jackson Argos can say that over the computer all he wants, but he's not going to say that if he was standing here.
Nope.
So,
nope.
Like I said, the people tend to not want to pay the cost of being lippy when the price goes up. You know what I mean? So when you're standing here, the price is very high. Not so much when you're across the screen. So we'll see about that.
That's awesome. So we were talking a little bit about your international travels, and we were talking about Japan. ROH, of course, you've had a chance to take on some of the New Japan talent, and are you seeing that in the future here?
I mean, being in the ring with the Bucks and with Hangman Page and Skrull, and most recently Jeff Cobb. But to also have the matches with Yano and Hiroki Goto and Minoru Suzuki, Killer Elite Squad. I've had the chance to step in the ring with a lot of New Japan's guys, and personally, I feel like it's a fit for me. I think what I do and what they do, and we see a lot of the same things as far as professional wrestling being a fight and being a battle of wills, battle of heart. And again, that's one of the places I hear so many times. Oh, you'd be perfect there. You'd be perfect there. Cool.
Make it happen.
That's great. There's a series of things that need to happen first in order for that to happen. So
it's somewhere along the travels, but it sounds like you're on the right path for it.
Trying to get there.
So tell me a little bit. You, of course, really kind of ingrained in Ring of Honor now. Tell me about and I've heard this discussion too. You talk about the handcuffs being off and kind of giving yourself some room to grow there. It sounds like everything I hear about Ring of Honor is kind of in a similar vein, right?
Well, yeah, it's most of the time in professional wrestling as a whole, people don't know what they want until they see it. So there's not, and I'm trying to word this correctly, but there's not really any room to do much of anything unless you come up with something quickly that can spark something. So a lot of guys get left by the wayside. They just, not because they're unliked or not because they're not popular, just because they don't know what to do with you. Like they have other guys they have to worry about that they have to take care of. So for me now, it's a case of knowing who I am, knowing what I want to be, and just essentially saying, I'm not going to wait for you to give me a chance. Like, I'm just going to keep proving to the world why I'm the best kept secret in this company, and let the people see, and let them see for themselves. Every time you put me in the ring with anybody, it's the match is fire. Whether it's Cheeseburger, whether it's Joey Diesel Diego, whether it's Hangman Page, whether it's Jeff Cobb, the result of each match is, holy hell, that was great. Holy hell, that was great. The common denominator being your boy.
And I also want to take a moment. Cheeseburger, I don't think gets enough credit.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He really doesn't. He is one of the unsung heroes of Ring of Honor as well. He has been for a long time.
Yeah, he's been doing some fun stuff in Japan, and I've seen him on a few shows here locally. When Cheeseburger gets like some time, I feel like the weird set. When Cheeseburger can go,
he can. He absolutely can. He absolutely can.
But amazing. So again, Ring of Honor has kind of been in this insane growth period right now. So it's got to be a hell of a time to be a part of that promotion.
Absolutely.
With of course the news of the I think they're officially a sellout for Madison Square Garden.
Officially a sellout.
Teaming up with New Japan and everything like that. Being the effectively, I guess, number 2 in America, which I don't. That's not a detriment. It's I'm not saying that as a knock.
Right. It is. What
it's just like. You're the other, the other guy, the
right.
WCW, the, however you want to frame that.
Right.
But growing.
Yes.
And definitely like getting up there. Geez, I don't want to say this, so it's like
oh no, you're good. You're good. I mean, there's this when you can't argue with who's with
I
who
consider
the guys,
it.
Right.
I'm trying to say it's the other top company.
We are the alternative.
Yes.
We are the alternative.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. As I dig myself into a hole. What's it like to be kind of on the ride to see that kind of growth, especially exponentially since even you showed up in Ring of Honor?
It's been incredible, and it's a testament to how hard the company has worked and how hard the men and women of the roster have worked to grow the brand and continue to put out great matches, great shows for our fans. It's a testament to everybody's collective effort to build Ring of Honor into what we want it to be and what we can see it being in the future. And to see how we've changed from just being the wrestling company to being a total entertainment company as well has been tremendous to see, and I couldn't be prouder of everybody.
There seems to be a special energy there whenever they come to town here in Pittsburgh, which is, I have been contending, we were having this discussion before, this is a wrestling town.
Right.
Like it or not, whatever you think, if you get pissed about the Anthony Bourdain special, this is a wrestling town.
Right.
Whether you see it or not. And, while not the big venue, I would counter that you have more energy at any Ring of Honor show here in town than you do when SmackDown comes to town or anything like that at this point.
Absolutely. When they come to town, there's a different vibe here, and people know that what they're getting is like they're paying to get what they want, and that is high quality professional wrestling in a crazy environment that's fun and energetic and passionate, and that's what we bring. And it's a more intimate setting for people, so you really get to feel like you're a part of the show. You're not just another number. You are a part of the show, and it's awesome.
Awesome. So with that, what are you kind of seeing out there in your travels? Like, is there anybody that's kind of sticking out in your mind that you've encountered that people should be looking out for?
Oh man, all right. This is the part. Look, I get hit in the head for a living, so I forget a lot. But there are quite a few people, whether you're talking about when you're on the female side, you have WrestleBay, Vanity, you have Savannah Evans, Ronnie Nicole, Big Bang Nicole, even though I don't like the kid, Jerome Daniels down there in Texas.
And these are a lot of names I don't hear.
Yes.
Like I say,
exactly.
these are names that I do not hear all the time.
Exactly. Like, because these are like, when I go and I travel, I like to associate with people that I see that are grinders, that are people that go out there and just bust their ass day in and day out. And while they're not garnering, and a lot of them, especially like Ronnie Nicole, she's in Japan all the time. Like, she's an international star. Like, it's just, if people don't do certain things or don't behave a certain way, then they just don't get the highlights that everybody else gets. It's just part of the business. And
especially Japan is, their top company doesn't have women's wrestling classically, so it's probably a little harder to get the word out, internationally.
But I mean, there's a lot of guys that are just, and a lot of ladies that are just really killing it. It would take forever for me to sit here and think of everybody, so I apologize. But it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see.
Awesome. Well, I usually ask what's the best and worst thing about indie wrestling, but what's the best and worst thing about rolling with Ring of Honor these days?
What's the best and worst thing about it? I mean, the best thing for me are the people you get to be in front of, the platform you have, the competition you have to compete against. We really do have the best roster on the planet, the best wrestling on the planet. Like, it's not just a tagline when we say it. One of the worst things? I don't know. Like, there's not really... I mean, for me personally, it's just, again, I am a person that thrives off of direction and competition. And to me, if no amount of seniority, no amount of hype, no amount of preordained success that you're supposed to have when you show up matters to me. I don't care if you were a senior and this has been, you've been dreaming about being a starter your whole life. If I come in as a freshman and take your job, that's just what I did. You sit on the bench. That's the mindset that I have. So it's interesting to see, guys come in and just have the red carpet rolled out for them. And it's like, okay, yeah, every plan you think you have about that guy, every good thing you think you're about to have with him, I'm gonna ruin, because I want that spot. I want that job.
That's awesome.
And I'm gonna do it by any means necessary.
We're having a little bit of discussion about like your background in here, if you don't mind me going this tangent. You were a kid from Cleveland that wasn't in the best neighborhoods and everything, and you talk about that sounds like that was an understatement. Right. And I think it's important to kind of do you have any advice for people that are in such a dire situation to kind of pick themselves up to look at what you did, right? You're on a national platform, and got a great family down there, and,
yes.
and it sounds like you're living the dream.
Man, it's normal life has never felt so good, especially when you come from a place where you have a survivalist mentality. My one thing would be find something to hold on to, find something to focus on, find something that takes your mind off of the situations around you, because it's very easy to get caught up in all the BS that goes on. You know, it could have easily happened to me, and I've been lucky enough to have people in my life that were like, "Hey, no, you're meant to do more than this," you know. So I thank God for them, because I could very, very easily not be sitting here today. So that would be my thing to them, is find something that drives you, find something that inspires you, and put all of your time and energy into that, because that will keep you away from the streets, that keeps you away from the people you don't need to be around, and that keeps you even from the people that you think are your friends but aren't really your friends. Like, that keeps you away from them too, because you're so focused and so driven on what you need to get done that's where your attention's going to be. Luckily for me, I had that, and professional wrestling has provided that, and now I get to be some sort of example. Not the best example. I'm not going to say that at all. I'm not a role model for anybody, but I get to do my part in trying to change the perception of what people like myself can be. You know, for a lot of time, and it's still relevant in professional wrestling now, especially for black males, you're only seen by society as a certain thing. People can only comprehend you being certain things. You can only be, you know, a pimp, a thug, a drug dealer, or you're out there with the chains and the grills and or some comedy act, or you are you have to sing, dance, and show how non-threatening you are because some people may be offended, you know. But it's I now want to be one of the people to break that mold. You can be anything anybody else can be. You can be the smart. You can be the smart bad guy. You can be the hero that overcomes all obstacles. You can be that. And more than often, the life that you came from is more inspiring than somebody else because of the stuff you've had to overcome to get to that point. They're naturally built-in stories to just how we come up in this nation and in society and all across the world. So to be a guy that can sort of shatter that glass ceiling, as I say, like that's something that I take a lot of pride in, and something that I want, when you talk about legacy and things of that sort, want for people to go, that guy is the one who said, you know, enough is enough. Like it's really time to get rid of all these stereotypes, get rid of all these preconceived notions, and really let people go out and do their thing.
Awesome. I think it's a great point to end on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Where can people find you online?
As always, Facebook.com/Shane Taylor, Twitter and Instagram @Shane216Taylor. Would be remiss if I didn't mention ProWrestlingTees.com/Shane Taylor. If you're in the merch buying mood, please go pick up a shirt. A lot of great designs on there, as well as ROHWrestling.com. Go to the shop zone there. Not shop zone.
Nope, somebody else. Nope.
No. Go to the merch store there. Go to the ROH merch shop there. Pick up your Shane Taylor shirt. Knockouts for everybody. Going to work on a new shirt here soon, so looking forward to that.
That's awesome. Do you design your stuff?
What's up?
Do you design your stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go. DIY at its best, right?
Well, I can't say DIY either. I think that's common.
Oh, it's, man, they have everything up there. Son of a. You know, I got to see some of the designs for the first time last night. Like some people walking in with some of your designs, and it was like, oh shit, is that a Shane Taylor shirt?
I'm telling you, man,
That
Shane Taylor
good.
original, bro. Shane
That
Taylor
looks
original. I'm out here.
good.
Now, I don't do the art. I come up with the concept, and I give it to people much more talented than myself.
Okay.
To go
But
out
you're the germ. You're the germ.
But the brainchild is right here.
There you go. Go check it out. And of course, please go look for Ring of Honor whenever they come to your town on your local TV. And of course, you can check it out over at Honor Club and probably see his entire Ring of Honor career over there this point, right?
That's right.
And you can see his pre-Ring of Honor career with the RWA and IWC. And I don't know, we have anything else from you? Anything from Cleveland, maybe?
I'm sure it's probably a few.
Were you
probably a few.
You
Maybe
Prime or
Maybe.
Something out
Maybe.
there. There's some
Something like
stuff.
that.
Just type his name in IndyWrestling.us. There's plenty of content out there for you to check out and catch up on where the heck this guy came from, where he's beating up some skinny kid named Jimmy Nuts.
Where is Jimmy Nuts, by the way?
That's a discussion for off show.
I got
probably.
you.
But thank you so much to everybody in the chat room here live. Whenever you see us doing Facebook Lives, thank you for everybody that does pop in there and look for the events whenever we do have anybody pop in, because we get them wherever we can. Because hey, Shane's in town, we gotta get him in here.
Absolutely,
it's tradition.
Absolutely,
at least once a year.
At least.
Thank you so much, and until next time, please support indie wrestling and the wrestling alternatives at Ring of Honor for sure. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
But my God, do you think he's ready for the destruction, probably the strength of that man right there, Shane Taylor?
He better be, because there is no more time to prepare for it. It is knuckle up time, so to speak. Let's see what happens in this fight.
2018, scheduled for one fall, with a 16-minute time limit, and it is for the RWA Heavyweight Championship. Introducing the referee, Jeff Jeffries. And introducing the challenger, making his return to the RWA, from the east side of Cleveland, Ohio, representing Ring of Honor, the VIP Heavyweight Champion, and the Pretty Boy Killer, Shane Taylor! And his opponent, weighing at 240 pounds, from Metropolis, he is the man of tomorrow, and the RWA Heavyweight Champion of today, Daniel Eads.
Daniel Eads. My God. I can't believe this is happening in an RWA ring right now. I never thought I would see Shane Taylor back in an RWA ring.
We have seen Shane Taylor in that ring take on a lot of greats in RWA. He defended that title with honor and dignity when he was the champion here in RWA. Now let's see if he can gain back what he feels that he truly never lost. It's something that was stolen from him, and that is the RWA Heavyweight Championship. But let's see what kind of champion of today Daniel Eads can be if he can knock back the absolute brutal challenge that is Shane Taylor.
Him and Taylor are almost nose to nose right now. These two were nose to nose earlier. We had that pre-interview. And, oh, wait a minute. He's actually holding his hand out in respect. But, that just happened. Did he really just spit in the face of the champ?
Yes, he did.
Spit his gum, actually. Ugh. All right, these two about to lock it up right here, right now. Taylor and Eads. Eads to Taylor, and there we have our championship match started here at Bloody Harvest 2018. And that strength, there's that strength I was telling you about of Shane Taylor. And again, Eads is no slouch. Oh, wait a minute.
How many times has Daniel Eads been pushed back into a corner by an opponent of his here in RWA?
Almost never, Church. Almost never. That's why I got a little quiet there. That took me by surprise. Wait a minute now. Oh, Eads now twisting the arm. And now Shane Taylor trying to figure out how to... Oh, wait a minute now. Taylor's gotten more aggressive, more talented, more everything. I mean, he's representing ROH here in an RWA ring.
Shane Taylor has pulled a lot of knowledge in his time in ROH. And don't think for a second that he won't use everything that he has learned against Daniel Eads here tonight. And did you hear the smack of those two meeting dead center in the ring?
I felt it, Church. I felt it.
When has Daniel Eads ever ran into somebody and not knocked them down?
Well, look at Taylor already saying, huh? What? Who? New high score? What? I mean, he's already... Oh my goodness. Eads knows he has a challenge ahead of him. He knows the minute he hit him, Eads knew, oh boy, this is not going to be a walk in the park.
Well, here's the other thing, and I bring this up. I mentioned how many times has Daniel Eads hit somebody and not knock them down? How many times has Shane Taylor hit somebody and not knock them down?
Yeah, you have to wonder what's going through the mind of Taylor right now. I mean, Eads is still standing. Shane is asking him, what? Here we go again. I think Eads is going to give it one more shot. Third time's out. And Shane Taylor pulling a little page out of a book that we've seen Shane Taylor use many times here in West Newton.
Pulling the old switcheroo on there. Oh, hello.
Well, he had him stumble. Oh, wait, he's stumbling him. He's kicking. Taylor has not left his feet, though, but Eads is taking him for a ride here. Oh, wait a minute now. Reversal. Misses that clothesline and a drop kick in.
Shane Taylor knocked out of the ring, but not off his feet.
You're right. Eads is showing him why he has the RWA. Oh, wait a minute. Eads asking him, inviting him back in the ring, and of course Taylor swatting away the invitation. I mean, these guys have been talking smack online pretty much since this match has been announced. Again, like you said earlier, put up or shut up is tonight. But then again, you look at Shane Taylor, 6 years of frustration, 6 years of anger, 6 years. He was screwed out of his RWA championship. I remember, like it was yesterday. And he states, Eads has not fought anyone in his match. I missed it. What was it, Church?
Shane Taylor just referred to one of our female fans in the crowd. I know it's Halloween, and I'm almost positive he said witch, but I could be wrong.
Never mind, it's Taylor. It's Taylor. That's all I'm going to say. Shane Taylor, always outspoken, always one that gets his mind across. And right now, Eads lines him up, and again, flying like a missile in the ribs. And again, he's still on his feet. He has not left his feet. This is the first time I've ever seen an opponent not leave their feet. Oh, wait a minute.
It's the first time that I've ever seen Daniel Eads go 5+ minutes into a match and not knock his opponent down to off of their feet.
Well, oh, wait a minute now. Eads with that agility catches him. Oh, catches him that forearm. And, wow, the champ of tomorrow, he might be knocked out. Taylor has him. Oh, boy. Drops him. That's it. That could be it. That could be the upset. 1, 2, no! And Eads kicks out. And
if you look at this, though, Doc, this right now, this image that you're seeing, this is the first time Daniel Eads has been knocked off his feet in this match by Shane Taylor.
Delivering that huge headbutt. We've seen that headbutt numerous times. I mean, Shane Taylor's in the best shape of his life. And wow. How's your face, Daniel Eads? My God.
I have heard of, and I know I have seen Shane Taylor throw such a right hand, people have had to have their jaws wired shut because he has broken their jaw.
And there is just a prime example. But then again, they calling him One Punch Dan, but can he be One Punch Dan tonight? That's the question. I mean, it's going to take a lot more than one punch for Shane. It's going to take one. And how about one chop stop, courtesy of Shane Taylor?
Did somebody just shoot a shotgun off in this building?
No.
Because that's what it sounded like.
And Eads is out on his feet, Church. I mean, wait a minute, never mind. Maybe playing a little possum there. You have to do something. I mean, my God. Up and over. Clothesline. My God. 1, 2, and let me tell you something about the velocity of that clothesline. It took Taylor to one knee. He put everything he had into that, and Eads still kicked out.
That just shows the strength, the power, the reserve, the testament, the will to win. I can use every cliche in the book, but at the end of the day, it just shows what Daniel Eads is made of. Daniel Eads is defending the title of RWA here tonight against Shane Taylor, former RWA heavyweight champion, current star of Ring of Honor. Daniel Eads wants to prove why he is champion.
And Shane Taylor taking it to Eads. Look at Eads' feet. Look at he's holding on to that rope for dear life. I mean, this could be it. We could have a new RWA heavyweight champion. But here's the thing. Taylor wins that belt. He's taking it around the world with him. He could go defend that belt in a ROH ring. Could you imagine an RWA title? Woo-hoo! Yes, caught him with that punch, and up and down he goes. Is this it? This is the splash. Nobody gets up for that. 1, 2, no chance.
Are you kidding me?
Eads just kicked out of that.
Shane Taylor taking Daniel Eads down with the Uranagi, followed by the splash, and Daniel Eads survives.
Eads in the corner. Here he comes. Oh, we thought we were going to see a big old avalanche. Oh, wait a minute. No, that didn't affect Taylor at all. He's coming back. And another one. Oh, my God. He is poking the bear. Oh, kicks him. Punches him. Up and off. Taylor still to his feet. Rolls him up. And Taylor is out. Here comes Eads is up and catches him. And oh, my God. Eads just clapped both knees down on his face. Eads is asking him, he's begging him, get up. He delivers that punch. It's called the Proud Fist. He comes up. Flying elbow. 1, 2, and no. The challenger kicks out, and this is the first time we've really seen Taylor off his feet.
That is the first time that we've even seen a pinfall attempt by Daniel Eads on Shane Taylor.
I mean, my God, Church. I mean, these two were so tense earlier. You were there right beside me during that interview. I felt bad for Lola Bradbury, our consultant here for RWA that was running the interview. She was stuck in the middle of that.
She almost got squished.
I mean, to be stuck between these two, I feel bad for Jim. Having a ref match. No, misses that punch in. Oh, wait a minute. Taylor now. Couple shots to the ribs. Throws him off the ropes. Catches him with a big forearm. And Taylor now. Oh, wait a minute, though. Eads landing on his feet. Has him. Catches him and brings the big man down.
Takes down Shane Taylor. Both men are down. Can Daniel Eads capitalize? Can he get the cover? Overrolled over 1, 2, and no. Only a 2 count. Wasn't able to hook the leg, Doc. Was not able to get full weight over top of Shane Taylor's shoulders. Shane Taylor able to kick out after 2.
Eads cannot believe what just happened. I mean, if you don't hook that leg, do you think there would have been an advantage? I mean, Eads is so weak and so, I mean, my God. I'm surprised neither of these two have a concussion right now.
Hooking the leg basically adds extra weight brought up onto your opponent's shoulders, making it harder for them to kick out on their own. It would have helped, but
package!
Oh my God!
Pile driver!
Oh my God!
It's over, Church. That is his signature. Nobody's been getting up for that. 1, 2, and no!
2 count only. You got to give it to Daniel Eads. Daniel Eads, if you remember a few months ago, Doc, was injured by J-Rock of all people with a pile driver. And as if it didn't need to be known already, Shane Taylor was brought into this business and was helped along in this business by J-Rock.
You're right. I bet you they had a couple conversations before this match. I mean, my God.
The neck has got to be hurting. The upper back has got to be hurting on Daniel Eads after that package pile driver by Shane Taylor.
Oh, wait a minute. Church, did you hear that punch?
Did you hear that knee?
You know what we're seeing right now? Shane Taylor has become pretty much Daniel Eads' doomsday. Church, I don't think Eads has anything left in him. I mean, my God. Has him up. Oh, wait a minute. Power bomb. 1, 2, and no. Oh, Taylor's lost it.
Shane Taylor has just gone nuts.
And we've seen this before, Church, and you don't even want to be in the dressing room.
No.
You don't want to be anywhere near this man when he is, we're going for a second. Oh, has him up. Good Lord, has him up and over, and leg drop by the big man. New champion, 2, and no!
Still only a 2 count, and look at Shane Taylor's face.
I don't even want to. I'm too scared.
Absolute frustration is now coming over the face of Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor has to be wondering what he can do to put Daniel Eads away. But you have to think that Shane Taylor is starting to get just a monicum of respect for Daniel Eads and what he represents here in RWA.
Well, right now, here comes Taylor. Wrecking ball! This is it. Taylor's won this. Church, I've never seen Eads just bounced around and beaten like this before in my life.
Shane Taylor is taking full advantage of Daniel Eads being beaten down, beaten up, hurt. But Daniel Eads back up. Beautiful European uppercut.
I can't believe he's even on his feet, Church. Mother of God. Oh, wow.
Woo! That was a slap to say, how you doing?
Daniel Eads needs this right now. Wait a minute now. Taylor fighting back. That would have been really, really bad if both of them come crashing out. Wait a minute. He just knocked him out.
I think he did. I think he hit him with the proud fist.
He hit him with the proud fist. This could be it right here. Wait a minute. What in the world? 1, 2, 3. Leeds wins it. Daniel Eads has done it.
Daniel Eads has done what many thought he could not do, which was slay the beast that is Shane Taylor here tonight and retain the RWA Heavyweight Championship.
I cannot believe what I have just seen. Shane Taylor, 6 years, he comes back, frustration, anger, he brings it all, and Daniel Eads is able to stop the tirade, which is Shane Taylor. Church, this is unreal. He has proven tonight. This is a force to be reckoned with. This was the biggest obstacle ever in the path of Daniel Eads' greatness here in RWA, and my God, he's toppled him. I just cannot believe Daniel Eads. You can just tell. Beat, battered. He took one hell of a ride with Shane Taylor. And Shane Taylor, wait a minute. And
Daniel Eads reaching for the handshake.
And Shane Taylor, in respect, raising the hand of the victorious one, which is Daniel Eads. This has been one hell of a night. Welcome back. I'm so happy you're here. Anyways, Daniel Eads again victorious. But give it-
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.